And you're welcome back to the Pulse. Now, applicants for national service will no longer have to go through the laborious process to get their entry to the national server. Now, beginning this year, the National Service Secretariat says it will be using an electronic platform which will make it easier for school heads to apply for all of their qualified applicants by the click of a button. Very shortly, we'll be having a discussion on the reforms going on at the National Service Secretariat, but we need to bring you a breaking story that we have for you live from the precincts of Parliament as we speak. My colleague Parker Wilson is there with the Health Minister, Kuku Ajimamenu, who is addressing a number of issues regarding the calls for his dismissal. We've lost that link. We'll get back to Parliament shortly. But joining me now is Armstrong Issa. He's the Public Relations Officer for the National Service Scheme, obviously, and it's good to be speaking to you at this moment. So what are some of the reforms happening at NSS as we speak?
So thank you so much. The major challenge that confronts the graduates who always exit from the National Service Scheme or National Service Program is unemployment. And so the scheme has been thinking of how to complement the efforts of the government to reduce the rate of unemployment. And so a lot of partnerships have been created and have been adopted with some organizations. But before we even get to that, you know, today digitalization is the way and is the process through which all other organizations are going about their operations. And so some years back, National Service has digitized its operations. And today, the administration of Honorable say SCB, the former KMA mayor, is continuing with the digitalization
agenda. So it's a complete agenda that you have to change things at NSS.
Yes. And so what we're doing is that we've had a meeting with all the stakeholders of National Service Scheme, especially the university communities that supply the graduates to us for the National Service Program. And we've asked them to go through a certain procedure to streamline and sanitize the process. Those days they used to submit the list or the class list, the final year class list, to us through pen drives and other hard copies. But today we've created a special portal for them, and it can only be accessed by the individual universities. And so for instance, if we talk of University of Cape Coast, if they want to submit their list to us, they have a special code, they have a special platform through which the class list can be submitted to the executive director. So today, everything has been digitized at the National Service Scheme under Honorable Osei SCB entry. Now, going forward, we have known that the major issue that confronts the teeming graduate that exit from the service every year is unemployment. And so the leadership of National Service Scheme has seen that there is something we can do about it. We know that the core mandate of the National Service Scheme is to deploy graduate, qualified Ghanaians who are 18 years and above and who have successfully completed accredited tertiary institutions. But we want to go further. We want to go beyond that mandate and see how best we can prepare the youth who go through the National Service Program. Of course, we know that the National Service is supposed to be a period of transition where the kind of boyism, that kind of student life is, you know, being transferred into proper work environment. So what is happening at the National Service Scheme is now we have created an ecosystem where we've brought together a lot of organizations, a lot of reliable institutions to bring to us their infrastructure, their systems, to be able to train the NSPs within this period. And so what we've done now is that we've adopted a new way of life. We've adopted a new vision, and the vision is dubbed deployment for employment.
What would that mean, by the way? Is it the case that you're not going to post en masse into a particular institution? Are you going to engage in some requirements for persons who are applying to various institutions. How are you going to do that?
Exactly.
Right.
And so what deployment for employment means is that we are not just going to deploy the service personnel to organizations just for posting them sake. Now, we're going to make sure that we deploy them to organizations, we deploy them to projects and initiatives that we have curated with the reason of equipping them with employable skills so that at the end of the service, they would have the relevant skills either to be self-employed or either to be gainfully employed by an organization. And so as we speak, this is not just a mantra, it is not just a slogan. It's now the way of life. It's now the new vision of the National Service Scheme under Honorable Osei.
So is that going to check the illegal postings and persons who have been drawing salaries from the NSS? Will that check it?
Yes, that's going to check. But just before we even come to the checking, for instance, we're talking about the partnership that we have even signed on to give credence to this. We have entered into an agreement, an arrangement with Ghana Tech Lab. And for Ghana Tech Lab, as we speak, we have deployed over 600 of our national service personnel to Ghana Tech Lab. And currently, they are being trained on app and website development. When it comes to the national service, for instance, about 50 national service personnel have been camped there. All that they are doing is the development of app. All that they are doing is development of website. When you go to the University of Professional Studies, we have also entered into an agreement with them. Today, we have deployed over 100 students or 100 NSPs to them to train them in entrepreneurship skills. Today, you go there and a lot of business ideas are being developed into business proposals. And so these are some of the things we are doing to make sure that we deploy them for employment. Now, coming back to what you said, checking the leakages in the system. Of course, a short while ago, you would have heard that under Honorable Osei Esibe entry, the new Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, over 14,000 ghost names had been cleared from the system of the National Service Scheme. And that is the way we are going. This was revealed after an audit was commissioned into our system. Normally what we do is that once the service personnel have been deployed, they go through some stages, they go through some processes so that finally they start their national service. Now what happens is they get to the verification stage. When they get to the verification stage, there's a special software that we have introduced called the metric app. And that is supposed to scan the front face, the left face, and the right face of the service personnel. And it matches the details of your face with the details you have supplied in the system. And if it matches with that, then you are clear to go.
Okay.
But all those that had irregularities and had those challenges were placed on hold. And as we speak, that is the major achievement
that you have chalked.
Yes.
Armstrong, I'm sorry we would have to do this conversation again.